Hello, this is Goku for someone, and recently I made a post about this service called Gaikai that PlayStation 4 is going to use, and it's also going to be available with the PlayStation 3 that will allow you to play older games, but you're going to need a subscription. And one person said, why can't they just make it available for all? And I thought this was the time to make a video about this. A lot of people don't understand this, and it's fine. If you're not really into tech stuff, it's fine not to understand this. But the reason why certain systems cannot play certain games is something called an infrastructure. Everything that plays games has a certain infrastructure, and you can't just take a game from one infrastructure and put on another one. So what they do is they port games. And when you port games, you're basically changing how the game plays, and so that it doesn't just play on this one certain thing, it can play on something else. And when you do that, it can theoretically change aspects of the game. That's why you might get a game on the Xbox 360 and the PS3 where the game plays pretty much the same, but if you were to put them back to back, one game might look slightly better. This happens all the time, and that's the reason, because when you port whatever it was mainly made for, it's going to look better on that almost certainly, because it's being ported. You're downgrading it to work on this other thing. And even if it was on a more powerful, even if it was on a less powerful system, and you're basically porting it to a more powerful system, it's still going to be downgraded in graphics. That's just how it works. Now, the thing about this is the PS4's new infrastructure is a PC-based one. It's using a graphics card that's an enhanced version of something that you can actually buy for a PC, and the Xbox One is doing the exact same thing. I believe they're using almost the exact same CPU. Obviously, they're modified. They're not exactly what you can go buy, but they're close. And the reason why this is actually great news is this means porting games are much easier. This also means if they do this in the future, that until the infrastructure changes dramatically in the PC realm, that you're probably going to be able to play the games fine for many generations. And so this is good news. This means that basically there are very few limits to what games can be on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and also PC. That means that we'll probably get games that no matter what platform you have, if a game's third party and they want to make it for multiple systems, they'll make it for multiple systems. If there's not an incentive to only make it for one system, you'll probably see it on everything, including PC. And this is great for gamers, but that means that you can't play your old games on your new console. And that's where Gaikai comes in, but this is not talking about Gaikai. Am I a proponent for Gaikai? No, I'm not. I don't want to subscribe to something that I already physically own, but it is a compromise. But knowing why this is the case, you cannot put a PS3 game on a PS4. You would have to port them, and that takes money and time. And it's not that simple to do it. When they originally made the PS3, they actually put a PS2 inside, and over time they decided that that was too costly, and so they took that out, and that's why modern PS3s don't have backwards compatibility. It's not that they don't want to do it, it's that it's not that simple. It's not something I'm not an expert in this, but I have heard from people that are, and it's not as simple as people make it sound. It's not like you can just make it happen. It's not like DVDs. DVDs is a certain format that exists in a certain way, and it's different. And so it might sound weird, and it might sound like this is just them trying to milk money out of you, but it really isn't. And literally the only solution they could find is to make it where you have to stream games. And yet again, if you want me to make a video on Gaikai and why Gaikai exists and why I'm not against it, I'm not for it per se, but I'm also not against the concept, I can make that video. But I just wanted to get this out. So please leave your comments below. This was Goku for the Someone, and I'll see you next time. YouTube.